Hello, you're watching ERi-TV and welcome to English News Broadcast. These are the top stories. 5 patients diagnosed positive for COVID-19 and tests carried out today. Effort being exerted to ensure supply of improved potato seeds. The global COVID-19 cases and death toll continue to rise. And 3 people dead as wildfires blaze on southern Turkish coast. The local news. We have an announcement from the Minister of Health. 5 patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 and tests carried out today at quarantine centers in the central and southern Red Sea regions. Out of this, 3 patients are from quarantine centers in the Asmara Central region. 2 patients are from quarantine center in Asab Southern Red Sea region. On the other hand, 38 patients will be receiving medical treatment in hospitals in the Northern Red Sea 25, Central 11, and Gashbarga 2 regions have fully recovered and are being discharged from these facilities. The total number of recovered patients has accordingly increased to 6,416, while the number of deaths stands at 34. The total number of confirmed cases in the country to date has increased to 6,544. Minister of Health, Asmara, July 29, 2021. The Minister of Agriculture reported that since the year 2000, the ministry has been exerting effort to ensure the supply of improved potato seeds to farmers. The ministry indicated that about 70 types of potatoes have been imported from outside and that 10 types have been distributed to farmers and have been found very productive, stating that the number of farmers applying improved potato seeds has reached over 4,000. Ms. Tabar Gaim, an expert of developing improved potato seeds, said most of them are collecting over 300 quintals of potatoes per hectare. Ms. Tibera also said that modern storage system has been put in place in various parts of the country, and with the increased production of potatoes, she called on farmers to introduce storage system. The social service provision put in place in Teret administrative area, Ginda subzone, is contributing in the improvement of livelihoods of residents. Stating that health station as well as school operating with solar system has been put in place in the area, the residents expressed readiness to play due part in the effort to put in place more social service provision and institutions. Mr. Ahmed Haji, head of the health station, said the health station is providing pre- and postnatal treatment, regular vaccination programs to children under 5 years of age, as well as sustainable awareness-raising activities. As a result, the prevalence of communicable diseases has been reduced. Now back with the international news after a short break. Welcome back. The total number of confirmed COVID-19 cases globally surpassed 196.9 million today, with the deaths still exceeding 4.2 million. And the number of recovered patients has exceeded 178.2 million. This is according to World Meters. An expert independent panel monitoring the world's response to the COVID-19 pandemic says wealthy nations have not done enough to transfer COVID-19 vaccines to developing nations, where they are desperately needed as they drive a new wave of diseases around the world. In May, the independent panel for pandemic preparedness and response called for the relocation of 1 billion doses of the coronavirus vaccine from high-income countries with adequate coverage to low- and middle-income nations by September, with another billion by the middle of 2022. European countries are tightening restrictions as they brace for a resurgence of COVID-19 cases following a surge in Delta variant infections. Three people died in a forest fire in southern Turkey today, with authorities were battling multiple blazes for a second day amid suspicion of flames. This according to the country's disaster agency and the agriculture minister. Dozens of villages as well as some hotels were evacuated, and the television footage showed burned buildings and people fleeing across fields as firefighters on the ground and in helicopters tried to contain a blaze in Mengavat, 75 kilometers east of the Mediterranean resort of Antalya. Officials have said that more than 60 wildfires have erupted across 17 provinces on Turkey's Aegean and Mediterranean coast this week, with the presidency vowing to hold to account those responsible for the attacks. Of those wildfires, 36 have been contained, but firefighters' efforts for the remaining 17 continue, with more than 140 people requiring treatment or suffering property damage. The tsunami warnings issued across the Pacific Ocean after a shallow earthquake of magnitude 8.2 struck the Alaska Peninsula have been lifted. The quake struck at 6:15 GMT today at a depth of 35 kilometers. This is according to the U.S. Geological Survey. In Alaska, the National Tsunami Warning Center had issued the warnings for southern parts of the state, the peninsula, and Pacific coastal areas. The U.S. states of California, Oregon, and Washington, and the Canadian province of British Columbia were not expected to see any significant tsunami threats. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center had also issued a warning for the U.S. state of Hawaii and the U.S. Pacific territory of Guam. Meanwhile, Japan's meteorological agency said there was no danger to the country. China successfully launched the Xi'an 104 satellite from the Jinquan Satellite Launch Center in northwest China at noon today. The satellite was launched by the Long March 2D rocket at 12:01 Beijing time and then successfully entered the planned orbit. The satellite will mainly be used to conduct scientific experiments, carry out land resource surveys, and map territory. This was the 381st flight mission of the Long March rocket series. And now a reminder of the top stories. 5 patients diagnosed positive for COVID-19 and tests carried out today. Effort being exerted to ensure supply of improved potato seeds. The global COVID-19 cases and deaths toll continue to rise. And 3 people dead as wildfires blaze on southern Turkish coast. That's it for today. Thanks for watching.